When they said they won.
Yeah, are you outside on vacation? Right. Yeah.
So we're good.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to TCH Live from Texas Card House in Austin, Texas. I'm William Laddy, the New York Knit, with you this evening. And we're going to have this 5-10 no limit hold'em game going in just a moment. Just got to get these players sat down and we'll get the action moving. Should be a good one tonight. Saw some familiar faces out there as the players were getting ready for the show. Guess first thing we'll do is say hi to everybody who's already shown up in the chat. I see Boy North Drones in the chat, David Valley, Frank, Dash for Glory, Poker Monkey, Chip. Great to see you all. Kicker Problems, JTMNY, Dash for Glory with, well, I guess there are a bunch of emojis.
Everyone holds.
Poker Monkey, how are you doing?
Thank you.
Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're having a good Thursday. We're almost there. We're almost to the end of the week. And we're going to play a little bit of poker. Like I said, just a few minutes for players to get sat down and to get the game going. And we'll be off on our way.
Straddle 25.
Yeah, so
Blindfolds.
Thank you.
One raises to 75. 2 and 3 folds. And 6 copies.
all right, so yeah, apparently the poker started and my screen was frozen, and just in time for Preston to turn the nuts straight. No, not the nuts straight. It's got the open ender. And we get a river that's going to brick everything. Doug with his ace high is going to be best at showdown. See if Preston bluffs at it, and he does. And Doug quickly mucks the ace high, and Preston's aggression will get the job done. Sorry for the little technical problem there. So Apparently the game was going, but my view of the game was actually frozen for some reason.
The button's kind of close to this.
Funny
so
how
it'll
the
mess up
internet works sometimes. But here we are.
Big blind.
Dash for glory, cheapest way to enjoy poker. Yeah. Hard to lose money when you're just sitting in the chat. Or the booth for that matter.
Can you scan it?
Got some 510 going here. And Austin makes a 35. I think the 10 is on. Doug going to defend the big blinds. Doug is dominating Preston. And Doug with the only diamond is going to flop himself a flush draw to go along with the best hands. Check, check. Preston turning a pair of 9s. Doug is now actually going to need that diamond or king if we get that far.
75.
So I'm going to go ahead and go full pot, $75, just as Preston turned something, which he's not that fond of because he is going to fold.
Terry.
Still a small one heading Doug's way.
Small big. Yes, sir.
Time dilation, that's a good theory. That's a good theory what happened there. I like that theory, we'll go with that.
One fold. Two makes it
Slicer going to go with some aces. Bumps it up to $35, it looks like. And I think we're just catching up with the graphics. I think Ken's defended his blind there. And 9-5 deuce is going to keep Slicer well ahead here. Continues for 75, gets the folds from Ken. So some early aces.
That guy is also looking for private games.
Not much to show for them, unfortunately, but still plenty of poker to be played. Dash for glory with a question here. Is position more important to know or strength of your hands? I know how to play poker, haven't learned position. Won a local tournament. Congrats on that. Even if it's 12 people, you know, hey, you won a tournament. And that's always a nice feeling. And I agree with Pez. Those are actually both important things. So what position gets you is information. By getting to go last, you get to see what your opponents are going to do. And so you end up getting a lot of control, actually, over how big the pot gets. You get checked to, you always have the opportunity to bet if you'd like. Whereas if you're out of position, maybe you check it over and maybe they bet, maybe they don't bet. Like, we'll go back to that hands a couple hands ago where Slicer had the aces and Ken was in the big blinds. Like, let's say Ken would have flopped 2 pair instead of nothing, which is what he actually got. Ken would want to put more money in the pot, but he's out of position. It would look really suspicious if he were to bet into the player who had raised pre-flop and had showed strength. Speaking of strength, Ken with the kings here. And I think Ken's going to defend here. So we'll go to the flop and we'll pick up that the Can we get an exorcist on live stream, please? Exorcist on live stream. No, Kristen. Production thought that maybe we were frozen. No, I was calling for the Exorcist because of this flop where Ken flopped the full house on the 666. Funny how often it's 666 when it's trips on the flop. Funny how that works. So, anyway, so going back to the discussion of position. Let's say you're at a position and you make a big hand. You want to play a big pot. But that's not as much in your control as it would be if you were in position, because you're often going to be checking over to the other player. And then maybe they bet, maybe they don't bet. And you're sort of at their mercy. And then if they check back, you could certainly bet turn, you could bet river. But that's only 2 streets that you get to bet. If you're in position, you can bet all 3 streets. And if they bet into you and you want to put more money in, you can raise them. And then they call, and then they're often going to be checking to you on the next street because, I mean, hey, you just showed strength, right? So that's where position can be really important. So information. That's the thing. Poker's a game of limited information. You could use every bit of information you get, and
did get 4 unprotected first for Durant in a swap.
and so that's the importance of position. That's the power of position.
But they also give up a shitload.
We see Slicer going to defend that button with the pocket 8s.
So they got back with.
Jack 7-3. Pair for Doug, pair for Preston. Doug's is better.
That's 50. 6 calls. 1 full.
And Slicer makes it 50, gets the call from Doug and from Preston.
It was check, bet 50.
That 9 is going to put up a gut shot for Slicer's 8s.
Now it's check. On the river.
Straight will not come in there. Doug will probably be a bit annoyed at that over on the river, but not too annoyed to bet. Goes for a little $60 bet. And folds it out.
But now the Nets have Bridges, who they got from Phoenix, and they have Ben Simmons from Philly.
That said, hand strength is also an important concept to understand if you're going to be successful at poker.
19, I think.
So,
25 or 24.
you know, there's
You just can't shoot.
so like there's strength relative to what's on the board. There's strength relative to the action that's happened.
2 raises, 35, 3 folds.
I think like this season he averages like 7 points per game. He just like doesn't hit the shit ball.
Slicer makes it 35. The ace queen of diamonds. Ken with the inferior diamonds makes the call.
Like 10% from 3.
Both players whiffing on this no pair, no diamonds flop. The check. There's the 5 for Ken. Ken pulls out ahead, but 4th pair, no kicker. Not a very strong hand.
Professionally by like bumping people around here.
Front door club comes in. Check, and Ken's going to win.
Go practice. Yeah. Do an hour a day. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like obviously I'm ignorant. Probably for some reason much harder.
So tiny one head in Ken's way.
Maybe it's just like physically odd for
Straddle,
people that
20.
are really big to like shoot a shot or a jump shot compared to like normal size athletes.
Yeah, so, I mean, continuing on that hand strength line. I mean, let's think about a set, right? Let's say you have a pocket pair. You hit the 3rd card on the board, so I have pocket 10s. I get a 10 on the flop. That's awesome. I've got a set, right? What if the other cards are 9 and 8, and they're all the suit, and I don't have the suit, obviously? So that set doesn't feel quite as great relative to what's on the board. Like the straight's there, a flush is there. There's going to be a lot of runouts that I'm going to hate with my set, right? So you have to consider both of those things, both position and hand strength. And
120.
Cameron's got middle pair. Checks it over to Doug, who's going to bet 120 with a slightly worse pair. He's got the 9s. Cameron can certainly hold the pair here. Quick turn there.
250. Six bets, 250.
All right, so Cameron goes 250 here. Or Doug, rather, goes 250. Cameron with the choice. Cameron going to fold. All right, so Doug and Preston are, quote, big winners in the early going, but hey, we're like 10 hands in, so not a lot of chance for fireworks quite yet. That said, I mean, we've seen aces, we've seen kings, so we've seen the big pairs. We just need someone to have a hand that can play with them.
Maybe it's a coaching
Make it 75.
Suited connector for Slicer. Makes it 75. Cameron on the straddle with the 8s.
Raises to 225.
Decides to play it as a 3-bet. Up to 225. Slicer 2 to a royal flush going nowhere.
Yeah.
Ace King 7. Slicer with just a gut shot. Cameron not going to feel great about this flop. At least not with regard to his actual hand, but with regard to his range, he actually feels pretty great because, hey, he can have all the aces, the kings, the ace-king. Continues for 150. Slicer, though, with just a gut shot, gonna call. And going to turn himself the better pair with the queen. Over to Cameron, see if he wants to continue telling this story. Looks like he's going to.
3 bets, 500.
Makes it 500 and gets the fold from Slicer. Third pair and a gut shot to a pretty obvious straight. Not something he's going to continue with. Imagine the 10 comes on the river. Probably just goes check, check, right? Not going to make any money off of that straight. Dash for Corey wondering if we're waiting for more players or if this is it. We have at least one more coming, and I think the hidden message there is seat open. If somebody is in the area and they're looking to play some uncapped 5-10 no limit hold'em here at Texas Card House Austin, come on down here. And we can make that happen.
Makes 75 and everyone folds.
Slicer getting no action with his big ace. So we got that big football game on Sunday. Any picks? Any strong opinions in the chat as to who's going to win that big football championship game on Sunday? I can't say the words because Roger Goodell will pull down a drone strike on this building.
Makes it 75.
Ken with the Jack-9 of clubs, the TJ Cloutier,
2 folds.
makes it 75.
3 and 6 folds.
Slicer with another big ace, going to flap that button.
You can, man. It's been a while.
Queen 8 deuce is going to give Ken the gut shot.
Pretty much. I did a road trip. Played some poker.
And the C-bet gets the instant fold from what was the better hands.
Snowboarding in Park City. It came around like Colorado. Played a bunch in Blackhawk, Colorado. They have some pretty good games up there.
Yeah, don't they have like a 5-10 game or something? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking Philly as well, David. Like, as a New Yorker, I can't actually cheer for Philly. I just can't. It's like cheering for Boston. But as a lifelong Denver Bronco fan, I also wish absolutely no success upon the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, definitely going to lean Philly here. That was just a walk.
Yeah, there's some vlogger who made some vlogs while he was there. I think like Live Poker King was there, and he said like really good.
Jeremy going to get some more cards dealt out here.
Plus, it's an hour away from like world class.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a couple hands that can actually play with one another.
My sister and her husband.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened. I was in Park City and like.
Preston limping.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Slicer bumping it up just a little with the King 3 suited.
Blackhawk, I was in
Preston calling.
Okay.
Queen 10 suited. Here we go to the flop. Heads up. Ace King 5. Slicer with middle pair and a club draw. Preston with just a gut shot. We go check, check.
It's like an hour from Amarillo. I spent a week there waiting on a part to come.
Useless 7 of diamonds on the turn.
Subaru?
I know Subaru inside out.
Check,
I own a
check.
company where
Deuce
all
of
we did
diamonds.
was Subaru parts.
Equally useless.
Exclusively Subaru. 3 warehouses.
Slicer's King going to be best, and now he's going to
The part I needed.
attempt to extract some value.
Like a driveline bearing.
King very likely best when it goes check, 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 check.
From, because it's 4-wheel drive.
Makes it
Between
75.
the front and the back wheel drive. One of the
Preston going to fold.
bearings. I had to get that replaced. It comes with the whole shaft, so it just came in.
Well, if we didn't have it, we'd have got it from a dealer.
It's the price where he certainly could have considered calling with second nut, no pair.
We called the dealership in Amarillo, and they're like, "There's a holiday."
Are some
weekend, too."
missed club draws available.
But
User anonymous, you're asking what part? What part of what?
Little Best Western.
You're asking me what part of New York I'm from? I'm from Long Island.
I have my dog with me.
Place called Stony Brook.
Uber for like $2,000 home and back.
If you meant something else by what part, please let us know, and maybe we can answer that question.
Is there like a train or bus?
There's not.
I've already seen one poker question in the chat tonight. If you guys have questions, if you guys have poker questions, feel free to drop them in the chat.
Do you still have your Subaru?
Yeah.
You know, for my opinion,
You'll get to a
I'm
point where
certainly
you need
not
head
one of the
gas.
world's best players or
Actually,
anything, but
They were replaced right when I bought it.
glad to talk things out with
Right when
you.
I bought it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got it used about like maybe 3 years ago. And as part of I had it like inspected before I bought it. The guy was like, "Send me new head gas." So I was like, "You guys replace the head gas?" I'll buy it. So they did. So I bought it.
We had head gaskets made for us by a company that makes all
Another
the
walk.
head gaskets for the top fuel dragsters and all the high performance, the NASCAR, everything. So they're used to running 10 or 20 head gaskets at a time. We buy 3,000 at a time. They loved us.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but they were super. They were the best.
Yeah.
6-Star was the brand name.
Hope you're enjoying a little card talk with Ken.
Like 150. It's good. I mean, it's 2006.
Okay. I had a 2002
Speaking of
WRX.
cars, it's time for car racing season,
I had like
basically.
50K on it. I had like no issues with it.
Daytona 500 in another week or so.
I spent 40
Looking forward to that.
Subaru. And they used to be one of my customers, called them piggy banks on wheels.
Yeah.
because they would have.
One of my
these epidemics
favorite sports
where,
ends, another one
like,
starts
all
up.
the rear wheel bearings would fail. And you can't just get the bearing, there's a whole housing that you have to buy. And we would be selling them 10, 20 at a time to the garages, and they were like $90 to the garage, you know. Just absolutely incredible. When I first started, and I did it on a shoestring, it always seemed like when I really needed it, something would crap out on them.
2 and 3 full.
Right. Yeah.
6 makes it 50.
Moving to Colorado.
Yeah, but now they've improved them a lot over the years. The basic problem is you're doing aluminum heads on aluminum blocks. And the rear end of the heads are a lot hotter than the front end of the heads. So when you get the RPMs up high enough, the head actually dances on the block, and that's where the cylinder, the head gasket problem starts to show up. But they're a lot better now. Unfortunately, I'm out of it. I sold it a couple years ago.
3 makes it 75.
It was a lot of fun.
6 and 9 full.
If you won the main event, would you have upgraded your car?
Look at that monster.
1 full.
You said you have a WRX.
I did. It was stolen a number of years ago. I had a 2002 WRX, and then they stole it. It was never found.
I was shipped to South America.
Yeah. But I was kind of surprised because, like,
And here's the real question. If you won the main event, would you upgrade your car?
city driving, I'm like, what did
As we see Cameron, who had a hell of a run in the main event last year, take this one down.
Oh, are they put Yankee engine?
He's swapping overs and back doors there.
parked behind my apartment. I lived in like a 3-flat, and my roommate and I had like back-to-back parking behind it, and like every tenant.
I like to think that if I came into like $10 million or whatever the main event's going to pay for first, I wouldn't touch the money right away, actually. You come into a massive sum of money, don't touch it at first.
Out to work at like 7 a.m.
Figure things out.
Not here.
It's gone, yeah. I was working at,
Where's my car?
in high school, I was working at John, like, one day after work, we go out back, my manager's like, my car
You
was
start going crazy with a bunch of money. That's a great way to not have a bunch of money for very long.
kind of upset too. Like the Lugo Valley was like 2K, so it wasn't really.
I mean, first I have to win the main event, though. First I have to play the main event to win the main event.
Like,
I played it last year. I don't know if I'm going to play it this year.
not have to dump money on it.
Depends on how the rest of my summer goes up to that point.
And you're like forced to dump money on a new car.
Certainly going to fire a bunch out in Vegas when the time comes. This time next week I'm going to be firing in Vegas. This time next week I'll be playing some horse out there.
The RX and the SDIs, and there's a
Haven't to run into me out in Vegas. Feel free to say hi.
Straddle 25. Nine full, 1 full, 2 makes it 75.
I did that 2 months. I was playing
Grayson, take it for Slicer.
Creek in Pennsylvania, and I stopped playing poker at like 3 in the morning. I went out to like the parking garage, and my car was fucking stolen.
Poker Monkey makes a good point. You know, talk to a tax professional if you come into a huge sum of money. Make sure that your taxes are squared up because, you know, you don't want to mess with the government.
Yeah.
bad, dude.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I like my garage open for 15 to 20 minutes in Chicago. One time I was like down the street for 1
makes it
hour. It was canceled. The deal wasn't ready. Drove right home and they had stolen like golf clubs and a few other things.
Full,
Yeah.
6
Which
balls.
I get. I mean, they're probably just
Got a little heads up flop here.
they weren't nice.
Preston with the gut shot. The best hands anyway, but
6 jacks, spent 35.
And then when we were moving down here,
he does get the full from Doug.
patio front. It was like those.
Kicker Problem's going to be in Vegas for the series. Nice.
And by the time I
You got any events in mind yet?
And then I'm bringing the second one.
I'm aiming to play probably a lot of the 1500 mixed events,
Yeah, people are
Savage. Yeah.
mixed in mega satellites,
Yeah.
as well as some of the smaller Hold'em tournaments.
like, all right, we'll come back. I'm like, all right.
If I can be out there the whole time. There's certainly some tournaments that I care about more than others.
Yeah, I had like 1,000.
Really want another shot at that dealer's choice.
Park it in like
And fold.
a multi-level parking garage, like not connected my apartment. And in like a year and a half, it was broken into 5 different times. Like every time they stole like deodorant, quarters, air
Why don't you get one of
fresheners,
those bombs,
toothpicks.
those package bombs?
Oh, that's a good
Glitter
idea.
bombs and stick it in it. Otherwise, put a sign on the side of the car, say this car is equipped with a pressure bomb. You put 15 square pounds.
Look at these VPIPs. It's easier to have a higher VPIP when there's only 5 players,
It does.
Yeah.
because you get to be in position a lot
If they
more.
want to steal my like used deodorant, they probably
You get to be on the button every 5 hands instead
I
of
just don't want you to
every 9 hands. You get to defend big blinds every 5 hands instead of every 9 hands.
If it was suited, yeah.
6 and 9 fold. It wasn't suited. And
Slicer not going to have to worry about anything, just going to get a walk.
One time I went to a hotel, nice hotel, 5-star hotel, and they had parking in the basement, right? So I parked my car in the head porch. And
A couple of
when I
deep
went
stacks
down
in
to
the
get
tag
it
team,
next
that sounds
day,
like
it
fun.
wasn't there.
Colossus and the mini-main. Solid choices there. You probably see me in at least one of
So I
those.
go back upstairs, and all the guys that are working the bell tops and everything are all.
How many plans to max late reg the main event, but you've got late reg until day 2. Not as many as you think. Like probably a few hundred if I had to guess. I don't know what the historic numbers have been, like the couple of years that they've actually had it. As Doug's going to outflap Cameron here. Check, check. Ford's going to pair up now. Cameron's going to need to hit one of his overs if we get that far. I think there's a chance Doug's bet just ends this here.
He was gonna walk way back up, so I said,
And
"Oh,
it
get in the
does.
car with me."
Doug going to take a small one.
I just said, get in the car with me, right? So, we pulled up.
Yeah, the thing is with the main event,
we're doing a bomb pot.
He gets out of the car,
you really want to be there on day 1 usually just because
whatever.
you tend to have some easier competition on the day 1s. Get a lot of satellite qualifiers who just jump in right away. Like my day 1, like my table wasn't great last year, but my day 1 went pretty good. I doubled my stack. I had one guy punt off to me. I had another hand where I had a set and I was able to go bet, shove, and I was able to get that guy. Couldn't fade the coolers though. As we go to a bomb pot, 4 cards, 2 boards. 2 boards that don't really interact with each other that much. I see Slicer with top and bottom on the bottom. I think we checked through really quick before I could even see what the draws were. Slicer's just filled up on the bottom. He's got aces full. He's got the only ace. So he's got a hammerlock there. On the top, few pair plus draws. Slicer made a 25 with his aces full. Just got Preston to come along.
Oh, that's right. You opened a 75.
Front door clubs come in on the top.
Folded one.
Preston with 10s and 9s. Small upgrade from his 10s and 5s that he was playing. Slicer going pot. Preston just going to go away here with a very weak one-way holding. Mo the Cat, I'm told we've got at least one more player coming. And as far as I know, open seat.
I went to Japan a lot. We did a lot of
If anyone's around, they want to jump in here. Never know, there might be an Austin reg who's watching the program right now.
people that we were dealing with couldn't believe that all we did was sit there. You know, and they said, "How can you make a living?" I said, "It's magic."
9 folds.
But I understood a little Japanese, and I had one of the guys showing me around. Had been in the States for 7 years, and he was.
Get another heads up flap here.
So we just had a ball together.
Both players whiffing. Slicer, the Razor C-bets, gets the call from Doug with the gut shot. And this king is going to give Doug a second gut shot. Slicer now checking. Perhaps giving up. Doug is going to check back. He has the best hands anyway. Five of spades, and now Slicer going to put another bet out, and that's going to get Doug off of Jack 9.
Motorhead all the way. Forever bikes, cars.
Backdoor spades did come in there.
I got a great story. I imported.
That check bet always smells fishy, unless the board just drastically changed in your favor. Doug really couldn't do much with the check high, though.
I have an American certificate of origin, otherwise I can't register. Yeah. So Mike came in, he had the money, and it had a Belgian certificate of origin. So I'm fucked.
Set over set, guy already pulled to the 3, and we kept it clean, no running hard. Yeah, exactly. Remember the board 10 years ago.
I agree, Space Ace. That would have been a very fun hero call.
So I'm working with this dealer.
Spiciness here. Ken versus Cameron.
And
King in the window is going to put Cameron out ahead of Ken's Ace Jack. Ken with the 125 C-bet here. Cameron gonna call. He's got top pair. He would love for Ken to potentially fire again on the turn, especially when it's a meaningless 4 of clubs. Check though. 10 on the river. It's gonna give Cameron the best hand at showdown. Gonna go value hunting here. 350 gets the fold before he even has the bet counted out for us.
a friend of mine just got out of the joint. He was in for counterfeiting.
See Ragnar Overby in the chat. Good to see you.
We were a dealer, so we had
River Rat, hi there. Hope you're doing well.
And in 10 days, he gave us 20 back, and I spent 45.
See 120 of you watching now.
To the real ones.
Pretty nice.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Not a flaw.
See 27 likes.
I got it registered.
I think we can do a little bit better than that if you haven't done so already.
Yeah. Then when I moved
Hit that like button.
I had to get it inspected.
Tell the algorithm that you enjoy TCH Live. And the algorithm will show other people TCH Live, and then we get to make some more friends in the chat.
There was a California Highway Patrol lady.
Think about it. Every one of you guys found us at some
So
point.
she's looking at this.
We've built this nice community
That's kind of a strange serial number. I said,
over the last 3 years or so.
okay.
You got 2 pair anyways. I was just
Because you take advantage of those stereotypes.
It's doing great, River Rat. Thanks for asking.
So, I registered there.
maybe he's got a
6 makes it 90. 9 folds. 2 folds. I mean, sorry,
90
1
from
fold.
Doug is going to just get the defense from Slicer, who was the $25 straddle. Slicer going to get rewarded with top pair.
Check, check.
Check, check. What's up at 10? Board getting a little bit more coordinated now. And now it's 4 to a straight. Queen is still best showdown, and Slicer will elect to just get to the cheap showdown.
Round 25.
Padres extended Darvish.
Get some more cards dealt out here.
Xander Bogaerts.
75. One full.
Josh Hader.
Everyone full.
Fucking loaded.
And takes it down. Hey, RS Actuary, good to see you.
Yeah, they're still paying for Austin, right?
Well, I've got a moment. I'll tell you guys about some promos here at Texas Card House Austin. Valentine's Day, that's this coming Tuesday, February 14th.
They're like the Yankees from like 20 years ago.
You bring a date with you, and you both get half off your hourly.
Round 25.
Seems like a nice deal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think she had like
Also, all this month, you can earn $25 in rewards if you're checked in at 5:30 in the morning, and again at 9:30 in the morning. Play for free from 6 to 9 in the morning. Seems nice. What's not nice is this flop for both of these players. So picking up the open enter here, gonna stab at it now.
That's 25.
And we'll quickly get fifth pair out of there. Also got the quads of the day all month. Today, February 9th, it is quad nines. Progressive jackpot. Grows by 200 every day. It's not hit. You can see all the details on all the promos at TexasCardHouse.com. We also have a quads in your hands promo if you're playing PLO or if you're playing a bomb pot. You get quads in your hand, $400. I saw it get hit just a couple weeks ago. Cameron with middle pair here. And we see Ken picking up a gut shot on this 3 diamonds turn.
Have you ever been there? Yeah. It's walking around.
Cameron putting up the 50-hour bet, getting the call, and Ken gonna get the straight on the river. No, it is another 4-liner, so don't know that Cameron's gonna be paying here. Ken is gonna go for some value, $110 worth.
Security guard was like, we can protect you in here, we can't protect you in here. Yeah, they're all, yeah, they have a bad reputation for a reason.
Yeah. It's not the best of players.
And Ken will not get that value.
I fell at a concert before I moved there.
Ragnar, you'd be surprised. I know a lot of poker players who are in very happy relationships.
I like it.
I like tails. But I could tail.
One more promo, Ladies Night, every Friday here at TCH Austin. Ladies get half off the hourly.
What sport do you like?
I used to be a big baseball fan, but I've been following the UFC a bit.
Okay.
Preston with some sixes here.
One makes it 35. 2
Ace Queen for Cameron.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like real.
They say this is a good hand.
One World Series, yeah.
Re-raise
Cameron seems to agree,
6 and 9.
putting in the re-raise up to 135.
But you're always there, though. I mean, like,
Preston
or the
looking like he's on a call here, gonna try and flop himself a set.
Get for 1 call.
I don't know if they won a series after the championship.
I'm pretty sure
No set this time, but sixes still out front for Preston on a flop that's not that scary. 9-8-3. Cameron with the overs and the back doors makes it 200. Kind of big, and Preston gonna call. He's gonna have an effective pot-sized bet left behind, and Cameron gonna get there with the queen on the turn. Top pair, top kicker.
2006 they didn't go to the playoffs. 2007
A lot less to be afraid of now.
like the late game.
Cameron gonna check back.
Got swept. Maybe they made it once more. Did they make it once?
King of clubs on the river. Cameron goes 300, looking for a bit of value with that queen. There are some missed draws out there. 7-8 missed, hearts missed. Preston not going to pay him. Yeah, there's some poker couples.
Probably like a total opposite fire.
No, a few poker couples.
he was coaching baseball in the 80s when it was last year.
Exactly.
He probably says some inappropriate.
In fact, you even have a few famous poker couples.
Just like
I don't know if you've ever checked out Lexi Gavin's vlog, but like her husband's featured in those vlogs a great deal
9 calls.
as they both go around and play poker in various spots.
And 1
It's a fun watch.
4 players.
4 ways to a flop. This is Texas poker now.
7 0. I would have given him a ringer.
8-7 deuce. Somehow everyone misses.
9 1 and 2 check.
It's amazing. King 9 high, the best hands right now for Preston. Cameron with a gut shot. Cameron turning the best hands with a pair of 5s on this all spade board. Somehow nobody has a spade.
Everyone checks.
Amazing how that works. We check through again. Magical 8 of spades on the river.
1 or 9 check. 1 check.
Cameron's hand is best if nobody stabs at it, but Slicer is going to stab at it.
3 folds, 9.
Goes for the 200. And the aggression will get him this pot.
Trevor Bauer, huh? Welcoming those type of players on your team. What's that? You're welcoming players like that on your team.
Yeah, the Cubs got to roll this job in after like Frederick Gunn and his wife. I mean, you do what you can to get the ring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't
you
there.
deal with
Maybe I
the
heard it
morality
was
issues.
consensual. I heard it wasn't. I don't know. Did he? I actually didn't.
9 makes
Didn't he get acquitted?
75. Hold on.
I mean, I'm sure there was like an enormous settlement. It was like hush hush. It's probably like $5 to $10 million.
Maybe.
He calls heads up.
The text messages seem to imply at one point it was consensual. That's the only thing I remember.
Heads up. 3 checks. Check, check.
10 with the pair of 10s and the best hands. Cameron's got the open ender.
3 bets. 125.
Karen goes 125 and Ken gonna call with that second pair.
No,
If he fucks off the Korea for like
Ace on the river gonna give Ken aces up. Cameron gonna break that draw.
like goes to like the Sugar Land.
See if he decides to go for the
Perfect game.
bluff here.
Shot.
River, that's going to be way better for the pre-flop raiser. Can have all the aces. Cameron going to go 300. Ken just going to call.
Two pair.
Jack high, no good. And Ragnar, there you go. Yeah, a few poker couples out there. I've met about half of those people on your list.
I think it was like midway through the prior season he was suspended for like 2 years. And then
Actually just played with Marley a couple of months ago during the WPT series out in Vegas.
yeah. I don't know, it's probably a good thing that he sat out. Like, he'll probably be wild, but it's a lot less wear and tear on your body.
That's true. Two full. And
I mean, I feel like I'm rusty when I can't play a week or
Also saw Jim and Burton when I was out there. In fact, there was some picture that made it onto the socials that I actually took for him. He's with some people. I said, hey, I'll take the photo. I took the photo.
I told you at the other place that we should, White Sox should just lean in. Get we have Clevenger,
Yeah.
we'll take all
Yeah.
the.
If you're dabbling in that pool, you might as well go all in with all them.
Right.
two fulls. Three makes it 35.
These are anonymous. Be patient. I'm sure that we're going to see some big pots here.
This deck is expensive.
We got the
She
stacks.
requests you stop throwing the cards. She said please.
I literally have no idea. Yeah, I mean, the corners from a party. But I probably, I mean, like, I'll probably do more. Yeah, I'll do more votes.
$30 a card. One full.
Oh, are you blind?
$50 a card. Yeah, 10 here. So one full, two makes it 35.
Ace Jack opens it up here.
Full, 35 Yes, sir. 9 calls.
Ken making the call.
Like a late hit.
Bounds instead of
Yeah. I was just like hanging out.
Everyone whiffing again.
Check.
Somehow it came in front of me that there was 2 minutes left and it was tied. I was like, well, I'll throw the game on. Sick. And then it was so disappointing.
Kind of an interesting turn in that Ken has a gut shot now.
Yeah, I feel like you need to be more lenient when it comes to penalties.
Still has 2 live cards.
Let, like, someone's face.
Slicer with a little $25 bet. The little, this doesn't have to work that often. And it will not work this time. Ken has called.
You can't make that mistake, though.
True, yeah.
And Ken has missed.
King high.
So check. Ace high is going to beat king high.
Look and see if I had a straight. Huh?
Just waiting for that. You just say.
Yeah, ace 8. Yeah, aces and 8s are the dead man's hands. Not sure who it was. It might have been Billy the Kid, who supposedly
That was awesome.
met his end holding that hand.
He just got the yips. He got the yips.
That was Wild Bill. There you go, Wild Bill.
I actually don't know his name.
What's that guy's name?
I drove through New Mexico last year. I'd seen signs for like some sort of Billy the Kid exhibit.
6 makes it 100.
Also, user anonymous, this is Thursday, not Friday. Friday's tomorrow. Unless you're across the pond. Like there are parts of the world where it is Friday. It's just not Friday here in Texas. It's Thursday night here in Texas. Doug raising and taking it with ace queen.
They did. Then they brought in another guy, Josh Johnson.
The good news is we've only been on for an hour and we're on hand number 42.
Started a playoff game. And then he got injured. And Freddie couldn't.
We will get a collision of hands eventually, I'm sure. It's how poker goes sometimes. Sometimes you just don't have hands that'll make a big pot. I mean, we're not always going to have aces versus queens.
I mean, anything can happen when you bet. But
check out our highlights if you want to see how that works out.
No one could throw it, yeah.
Preston dominating Cameron here.
But like, I don't know, I remember when it was like 5 years ago, they moved back extra points, so they're like 15 yards further than they were before, so the chance of them being made is like 8% less than.
We're going to take that one with a bet.
They want to incentivize one for two, right?
Yeah. More action.
Has Terry been texting?
McCarthy goes by the last person that would go for two. If you put a 45-yard point in.
Okay, you're looking forward to UFC. Like, I'm not an MMA guy. Now, there's a lot of people who like it. And whenever that is, I hope you enjoy that.
The Chargers used to go for it in DC1. So did Tomlin when he actually had a quarterback.
75, 2
10-5, gonna give Preston the best pair here. And he bets and he takes it. Yeah, I agree with you that like 9s versus 8-7 suited can make for some great hands as well. We haven't had that yet either. Like there's been like very few flops where both players have connected with the flop.
I mean, I don't know. The kid like wants to play. I don't know how much natural. Like what's
And so, like I said, there's sort of the ebbs and flows of the game.
Physical attributes play a role, like some main thing is but also it's like one motion. It's like you could be a hell of a bowler if you
Slicer raises and takes it.
No straddle.
Yeah, Ragnar, I think it'll be great to have Ford get back into F1. Yeah, funny thing is, Red Bull bought the team from Ford to begin with. Before they were Red Bull, they were Jaguar, as the Brits like to say. If you're British in the chat, I probably butchered that and I apologize. They don't say Jaguar, they say it different when it's in reference to the car brands. But yeah, that was actually Ford's team to begin with. Funny that that's the team they're getting back with. And nice to have more manufacturers. Now, if only we could have the Andretti Cadillac thing actually happen. We have 8s and we have King Queen. Maybe we get a juicy one here. Or not. Preston's going to continue. Pair of 8's the best hand. Kent does have overs. Decides not to stick around.
And like, when one of them gets hurt and the other person does it, it just seems like so awkward. People aren't getting it.
field goal kicker doesn't kick off. It's like your guy can only kick 40 yards.
Yeah. I think in Kansas City at the start of the year, their kicker punter got hurt. And instead of putting the punter in, they had like a running back kick their extra points. Like,
Yeah, Mo. I mean, we have seen some bluffs. We just haven't seen very big ones. Like we've actually seen plenty of the tiny stabs at it. The one where it's like, well, check. Maybe I can just steal this pot. We haven't seen any like big 4-figure bluffs just because we haven't gotten there yet. I think 9's just raise and take it there. See Ken the winner so far. Slicer up a smidge. Now, Larry, 5 players at the moment. I believe we have at least one more coming. And like I said, if anyone here is in the Austin area, they want to jump in this game, come on down. Slicer takes it with King Queen, I believe.
No, like in 3 months. You know?
Personally, this game's way too big for me. Like, you're not going to see me in this game.
Yeah, that was who it was. Yeah.
I thought that was like a
It is important to play within your bankroll.
No, like maybe.
You want to start?
I mean, like maybe we're like formally dating or something, but like, I don't know.
Draw 25.
care about the game.
She actually like sports. She like Cleveland Browns fans. I kind of like that because she's like used to teams like the ones I like to root for.
You have a pretty nuanced opinion about the show.
Ace Jack for Cameron in the big blinds.
But like,
Doug on the straddle has defended with an inferior ace. Is this what you wanted, chat? They both have top pair now in what is essentially a blind versus blind scenario. Cameron going to continue for $50. Doug going nowhere with top pair. Queen is going to pair on the turn. Doug's kicker no longer playing. Check, check. Cameron's jack will be playing on this 6 of spades river. I think that's 225 from Cameron. And I believe he's been called. He turns it over. Jack gonna play. Cameron gonna take down a $700 pot. Maybe this is the beginning. Maybe this is where we get the juices flowing. But the fun thing about this game is that you never know. Any hand could be the hands. At any time, all hell can break loose.
How are your barrels?
yeah, that pumpkin.
Your barrel's good?
Sucked too. The pumpkin patch thing sucks. It's kids galore. I don't know.
It's an adult activity.
Like people in their 30s get drunk and
We're out of pussy, right?
put down like Rainy Street and charge like $20 and you get like a wristband. You could drink all the way out.
Here comes hand number 50. This might be the quickest we've ever gotten to 50 hands in the history of TCH Live. There you go. You got some history tonight.
Distillery out there.
Just over an hour in.
She makes it 40.
Slicer with the pair. Karen with a couple of pink cards. Ken had aces, but he's away from the table.
It's sick.
Cameron with the open ender. Slicer continues with his third pair. Makes it 40. Cameron in position. Gonna call here. And Cameron gets there. He turns the nuts. Might be for the best that Ken was not at the table. $150 from Cameron. Gets the quick fold from Slicer.
You get like they have maybe
Man, Ken, you have no idea how lucky you are.
cabins of varying sizes.
It's supposed to be a bomb pot, but we're gonna wait.
If
So they're like standalone cabins. You don't share
if we get to that flop,
bathrooms. Some of them, there's
like if Cameron gets to that flop, it's going to be very unfortunate for Ken.
like weekend thing. Like,
Good thing he was in the bathroom or wherever he was. I don't know where he was.
I think it's called the Chester King.
60.
3 folds, 16 to 16.
Doug opening up the 5-4 offsuit. And quickly is made to regret it when Slicer decides to 3-bet his suited ace. Ace-9, I don't mind that. Suited ace that can't make the straight, that's certainly a hand that you could put into your bluffing range.
Where you're basically just like in a small room, he sits at a table and does like sliding hand tricks. He's definitely a little past his prime. But it's
I told you as you were walking away that we do auto post. Yes, sir. You didn't hear me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How much? 75. Sorry, I let you know, I guess.
Right across the street from it too, like walking distance.
Yes, this is an auto post game.
6 75. 9.
You know what, Ken? Watch it back. Watch it back right now. Be glad that all you lost was that blind. You were probably going to lose a hell of a lot more if you had been at the table.
Got the 8 fold.
Doug going to hit the free outer against Cameron on this flop.
Yeah. 3 checks. That's 100.
Right across from Jester King, there's another brewery right there too.
yeah, it's like it's actually like directly across from that that brewery's like slightly
Did I say that?
it's called like
Oh, bomb pot.
They're going to go on to a $25 PLO bomb pot.
She was having them like 8 minutes apart last night.
I went to a place where they make the McConaughey. I forget the name of the brewery.
Today she had 2
Out there
minutes
somewhere.
apart.
I feel like they have something similar with like cabins where they have like a huge plot of land. It kind of looks like colonial times or something where you could just like rent these cabins and then just like stay if you choose.
yeah.
All of our players with the 4 cards, and to the flops we go. Who's got the case queen?
2, 3 checks, 6 checks.
Slicer with a gut shot. Cameron with a set there. He's got a set of deuces. Ken with the case queen. Preston makes it 50. Ace 7 4 3. He's got the open ender on top. He's got the spades on the bottom. That makes sense. Ken calls. Ken fills up on the bottom. Queen's full of 3s.
9 checks.
Hearts come in on the top, and Ken has the hearts, so Ken is going to scoop. So we go check, check. Another heart and a jack. Remember, you only play 2 cards in PLO, 3 on the board, 2 in your hand, so 4th heart doesn't mean a lot. Apart from completing a straight flush.
9 bets 100.
Ken gonna go for some value here. Goes for 100. Preston has bricked everything, it looks like. He's got 3 pair on the bottom. That's all he has. Diamonds came in. Does make the call for half the pot. Always risky business there, and he is going to get scooped in this case. Jeremy going to ship it Ken's way.
Thank you, sir.
Carlo the Chat Pro. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you.
Clear table to end hand. Rattled.
Be a record high.
Ken currently our biggest winner. So taking a small one there.
I'll probably fold kings.
Chris.
King Queen for Preston.
1 makes it 35. 2 and 3 fold. Everyone.
Just takes it down there.
Small and big.
Nobody playing that crazy VPIP wise on a 5-handed table. Full ring, certainly 30% is pretty high, but different situation when you're going to play in position a lot.
6 makes it 35.
But they were gonna have to close. I'm just trying to
9 folds.
Ken going to defend against Doug's raise.
You can enjoy your conversation.
And both players with a gut shot. Doug actually with 2 gut shots.
usually pretty good game.
Only one of which will actually win him the pot. Doug makes it 40. Ken certainly going nowhere with 2 overs and the gutter. Doug turns a pair of 5s and pulls out ahead here. Check, check. Doug no longer having to bluff. And a 3 pairing on the ends. Backdoor hearts coming in. Ken looks like he's reaching for some bluffing chips.
That's 150.
He goes full pot, see if Doug can find the call. Holding a weak pair and no kicker. He does not find it. Ken gonna snatch this one away from Doug.
Or is that cheer? Terry, that's not Terry, that's Jerry.
I've never played it live.
Straddle 25.
I was playing on my sometimes play like different like I don't really know what I'm doing much. I just see people do stuff that I don't. Yeah.
9 folds.
Slicer gonna win it the easy way.
I take it you play some PLO?
Alright, I mean if we're all
Straddle 25.
Wonder if we see the double straddle get on at any point here. We see the 25 on a lot. Here at TCH, if somebody does straddle, the player to their left has the option to re-straddle for at least twice the previous straddle. And then the player to their left would have the same option, and so on, all the way around to the button. Slicer gonna take another one there.
I mean, you're like never cross.
True, yeah.
Do you think that other guy's ever gonna show up?
I don't know. Jeremy, have you heard anything?
He started ghosting Kristen. Heard anything new yet?
Yeah, maybe not.
25 straddle. Said he was on his way, and then stopped. So 9, 1, and 2 fold.
Cameron with the suited jack gonna raise it up. Get the instant defense from Doug with the slightly better suited queen. And we have a flop that has not scanned yet.
3 checks. 6 bets, 125.
Jack 7-6 pair for both players. Graphics are catching up. Cameron checks it over to Doug, who made it 125 and got the call. Deuce of diamonds does not help anybody. It does pair that bottom card.
250.
Doug gonna fire again. Cameron gonna call. Top pair, no kicker at this point, does make it a little bit dicier for him. Very safe 4 of hearts on the ends. Cameron checking it over to Doug. Doug gonna check back. He certainly has some showdown value, but not quite enough in this case, as Cameron gonna take this one.
Thank you.
Slicer with this somewhat wide open is going to get the 3-bet out of Cameron. That will succeed there. Small blinds versus button, definitely, if you're the type who looks at those game theory charts, it likes the 3-bet a lot in that spot if you're going to continue. And it kind of goes to that discussion that we had early in the show about position. If you just call from the small blinds, you're often going to be playing 3 ways because you're going to price the big blinds to come in behind you. And then you're going to play the entire hand out of position, which is going to put you in some nasty spots, and it's going to make it hard for you to win big pots when you do get the best hands. Speaking of the best hands, Ken has it right now. He has a pair of deuces and a steel wheel gut shot, and will take this one down with whatever his bet was. $50 is the bet. Gets the immediate fold. But then you, by 3-betting small blinds, you price out the big blind behind you, the straddle behind you if it's a straddle situation like we typically have here. And then you get the button to fold some of their lighter holdings, which is what we saw. Whereas imagine Cameron flats with the 8s, and then the flop comes Jack 10-4. Like, he could easily check fold the best hand against the King 3. We've got a coin flip here. Slicers decide to take it with the ace-8, and 5s are going to hold. Preston's going to get stacked here. Slicer going to add $420 to his stack. Looks like Preston will reload.
Yeah. They're very cheap, right? Is it 5 cents more? Maybe like a 50 was on. I mean,
More kicker problems, the unfortunate roll there.
think if Jay would like jam,
Let's give this gamble another try.
I think if Jay would jam there,
Straddle?
fucking falling off.
Cameron, you want to straddle?
68. I think that's exactly one better than I rolled the last time.
But I mean, it's also pretty standard.
I wasn't going to tell your hand, but I think you should.
Doug, not a believer in the 9 triz.
9.
I think there's like
Tell you
5 or
what,
6
Everyone.
Cameron just asking for trouble looking at the cards where he gets the walk. I don't know if you saw the PLO game that we had last week at this time. I think there was one walk the entire show, and I got the walk, and I had double suited aces. Kind of wanted to actually play a pot there, but you know, we don't always get what we want.
9 makes it 75. 1, 2,
Ken with the suited ace
and 6.
makes it 75. Doug gonna defend his straddle. Heads up we go. Jack 7 deuce doesn't hit anybody that hard. Check, check. 6 of spades, another brick. Check, check. Doug gonna get there with a pair of queens. Gonna go for some value here. Full pot. Does not get that value.
Yeah, right.
turn to set on a fairly dry board except for a flush draw. I check raise the turn, which is an odd play, but he calls. And then River brings in like a one-liner. I was pretty.
You see Karen, Ken, and Slicer, all winners.
9, king, queen. I kind of block bet small versus jam.
Ken with a nice suited ace here, the ace, queen of hearts.
He has more tens than I have, so he's just like bluffing because his guy didn't miss, but he had like
He's at 90.
7 diamonds, so he had a common draw and got there.
What does Slicer have? King Jack of clubs makes it 250. We see Jack 10 of diamonds get out of there. Always sucks when you got to fold bad hands. Over to Ken. Out of position. You could consider the 4-bet here. Calling also okay with the suited hands. If it were offsuit, I'd be more likely to 4-bet, as it would not flop quite as well. 9-7-4. We'll give Ken the best hand. They both have backdoor flushes. Slicer as the free better going to continue here. Can certainly have all the over pairs. Ken with overs and backdoor hearts. Could take another card here. Seems like he's going that route. And he does. 865 in the middle. To the turn we go. 8 of hearts. Ken's got the nut heart draw. Slicer picks up a gut shot, so number of outs for him. Check, check. 4 of hearts. Ken rivering the nuts. Not quite the nuts. It is a paired board. But pretty much the nuts in this scenario. And Ken check, trying to induce a bluff. Does not get the bluff. Does get the pot, though. But the flop and turn action going the way it is, neither of these players has a boat. So, close enough to the nuts there. There's basically no planet where a set or a 2-pair checks back on that board. Slicer going to get right back on the horse and
3 and 6.
open up the ace-7. Ken does not think he can make 2 flushes in a row. Sometimes you do.
One three is costing 1,000. And I don't know about 5-10. Or 2-5, I don't know about 2-5. I think that's capped at 1,500 or something like that. That 1-3 game was great, and they killed it. Really, I mean,
3 races to
it's the
75.
only time I quit a poker game because I was bored. Yeah.
75.
Cameron's got the 8s.
Oh yeah, I think that
Made
game
it 75. Preston with the ace-queen this time.
I'd sit down. I'd say, what's the big stack? 10,000. I'd get
Goes for
11.
the 3-bet.
260.
It's a 260. Back to Cameron. Has a pair. Has position.
Tables most of the time. Yeah.
But does not have the price to set mine given how shallow Preston's stack would be relative to the size of the pot. So Cameron does make the fold. Generally, when you're going to set mine, you want 10-1 implied odds. Implied odds are your pot odds where you're taking into account how much more money you can win if you get stacks in when you get there. And Cameron would have been putting in something like $200 more, and there's only another 600 or so behind. So not quite the right price to try and hit a set. And certainly realizing that the next bet was probably going to be for all the marbles. So we see Ken get another one there.
He had 10-7 for bottom 2 pair.
Nice roll there, drummer boy.
All the jack 8. But how do you go from they cover all the 50, 150, 4,000?
Yeah, all their outs, so I assume it helped.
Straddle 25.
Yeah, I did. Well, the turn came another jack. So I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, wow. So 10-7.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even snap call. I'm like, what the fuck is doing this? 8-9 to diamonds specifically for free rolling?
Slicer raises it up with the suited king and takes it down.
Tell me those were the blinds.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you run into that sometimes.
If you're around Austin, be sure and check out the weekly tournaments here at Texas Card House. Every Sunday, the Black Chip Bounty Tournament, $5,000 guaranteed, $300 buy-in, $100 every time you eliminate a player. That's a fun one. Sure, I'll be hopping back in that one once I'm back in Vegas. Preston opens the worst of suited aces. Gets the quick 3-bet from Slicer's 9s. Slicer definitely preferring the aggressive route rather than the call. And Preston is going to call. He's going to need an ace or a bunch of diamonds. Or a couple of upside down 9s, but he gets none of the above. Slicer going to see that, and Preston is going to have to check fold. Also, every Saturday, $150 to get in, 4K guaranteed, 2K guaranteed to first. Every Monday and Friday, $60 PLO tournament. If you like the 4-card variety of poker. 2K guaranteed, 1K up top. Wednesday night, same buy-in, same guarantee, but no limit hold'em.
Chaz has a Wednesday game that's good.
TexasCardHouse.com for all the details on the tournaments. You can also
Play it. There are a lot of like,
find us on Poker Atlas.
but I think if you like, enter, you put your name on it.
See the tournaments there as well.
It seems like a tip. Like I was there like 2 months ago, and it's just like a tip. But it's pretty cheap. It's like 10K effective.
Yeah.
Chan and like DQ or like the
Doug with the ace jack. Makes it 75. Slicer is dominated as he defends his straddle with the queen jack. Neither player connecting that great. Check, check. Slicer needs a queen here as we check, check the turn. River is not a queen. Quator hearts come in. Check, check. Ace jack going to be queen jack. Draw boy, where all the players, well, they're at the table. There are 5 players playing right now. If more people wish to play, they are welcome to come here and do so. Seems like people have plans. Happens sometimes. That said, I mean, shorthanded poker has a nice little feature, or maybe it's a bug, depending on your perspective. There's nowhere to hide.
One makes it 205, and everyone folds.
Jack's putting in the 3-bet and getting the best possible result, which is to just win the pot pre-flop and not have anything stupid happen on later streets. It's the results I usually cheer for when I got the jacks.
And it made it 80 to go for everybody else. So when I was in the cutoff, I always posted the 40 because it jumped over you and the blinds had to act before you did.
And so with fewer players, you're in position more, and you end up playing more hands.
Yeah.
Sixes for Ken.
It just got wild.
I mean, like if this stays 5-handed tonight, we probably break the record for most hands on a show. Kings for Cameron. See how he decides to play this. He does go for the 3-bet up to 200, I think.
I have something like that.
Ken does not decide to try and find himself another 6.
Heads up. We were heads up.
Cameron takes the flop. Takes the pot, rather. Chris might consider playing if there are boxes available. TCH Austin does have boxes. I don't know if there are any available right now or if they're all rented out. You'd have to call up TCH and ask them about that. 'Cause I honestly don't know if we have any available. But we do have boxes. If you guys don't know what boxes are, they're essentially little lockers that you can rent out. You can put your chips there, so you're not carrying wads of money in and out of the building. I actually have one myself.
I'll put you on queens with that. Queens or kings, but mostly queens. Because you bet so hard. JB, what's that?
So, if any of you are looking to relieve me of some money after the show, sorry, I don't have cash on me.
Pretty normal, right?
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying you had queens.
Besides, to walk out of this building with money, I'd have to actually not lose, which has been kind of a challenge lately.
One fold, three folds. Everyone folds.
Should point out there is also security here at TCH, and
You can have any seat you want.
security is certainly happy to walk you out to your vehicle when you're done playing for the day.
It's not 9. Straddle's 25.
No, we'll make him move too.
Might be willing to.
I think I hear chatter of another player coming.
Block.
Block has been on the floor. Whoa, almost killed a hand there. So 3, 6, and 9 are one fold and check.
Got a battle of diamonds, diamond hands, and something for everyone here. Slicer with top pair, Preston with the open ender.
You know what card you had? Big Goop on?
Preston's $35 bet gets the quick call. Deuce on the turn. Not a helpful card. Preston gonna fire again. Owes $50.
Makes it 150.
Slicer gonna raise it up now. Makes it 150. Preston gonna call. Gonna try and make his straight. He does not.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the over does hit, and now Slicer's gonna, or rather, Preston's gonna leap this river, and Slicer is gonna have a choice to make because this is kind of an inconvenient river. An overcard does come.
In like 2.5 years.
Have you had it? No?
Slicer finds the call and gets rewarded.
Like sick once at all during COVID times.
Yeah, but some people get it and they're completely asymptomatic.
I guess it's possible.
Alright, it's gonna be a bomb pot.
And then other people get it and they die.
Have you gotten it?
I got pretty sick.
Sounds like we're going to another bomb pot.
Poker field, if you're playing a lot of hours, you're naturally going to get COVID way more than other people. Because everybody's like, you don't wash your hands.
Bomb pot.
Yes.
How much?
Everyone's going to put in the $25. They're going to get 4 cards. Then we're going to get 2 flops, and then we're going to go from there.
They have like COVID and they still get to play poker or like. I'm sure people do. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't put it on bomb pot?
Well, we know 2 of Cameron's cards.
Can we? We're good.
Kristen's going to press a few different buttons. 15 minutes in the past, and now these graphics are right. Hit 4-3 rainbow, queen 7-5, couple of spades. Preston's got aces, and he's got a 5 and a 4.
That's 50.
9-8-6 deuce. This is going to be a wrap for Slicer.
6 call.
Jack, Jack, 4 deuce. Going to just find the muck. King, queen, 7 deuce. He's going to call. 2 pair on the bottom for that hand. We go heads up to the turns. A king and another 5. So Duck now with the king on top. Appears to be the best hand. Still playing queens and 7s on the bottom. We go check, check. 6-5 is going to chop this pot if it gets the showdown. Check, check. Trip 5s with king, queen for Doug, and then Slicer with the 8s and 6s, going to win the top.
Oh yeah, otherwise you couldn't go to CP.
Well, how many times is it?
They didn't have requirements this year.
What was that, man?
It's a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, agreed. Every compliance type.
Stroud 25.
PCI, high trust.
Now we're going to go back to Holden.
And I got really sick.
It's not very consistent.
Back to 2-card poker.
I mean, everyone I know that was boosted also got COVID. So, like,
Yeah.
6 rates, 75.
Looks like Doug made it 75, Queen Jack. And Doug wins. Over 100 of you watching right now. Getting near halfway. Let us know in the chat where you're all watching from. See just how far the TCH Live community extends around the world.
9 folds. Three calls and a check.
Lynch pot here. Both players whiffing. Check, 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 check. Doug with an 8.
Check. That's 25 aggressively. Fold less aggressively.
A $25 bet was the best hand and takes the pot down. Johnny watching from Atlantic City. Believe it or not, I've never been to Atlantic City. I'm from New York. I've never been to Atlantic City. I wasn't playing by the time I left New York. St. Louis, all right. Another place I have yet to get to. Seen a decent amount of the country. We've found a couple of corners that I haven't seen.
9 folds, 2 raises to 50. Everyone folds. Those are not allowed in poker.
If you happen to be up in Dallas, check out the Jackpot Patty on Wednesday nights. You can get complete details on how that works on the website, texascardhouse.com. Sounds like a really fun one. In fact, I hear somebody hit a $5,000 jackpot right away. Congratulations to whoever that is.
Folds to Doug, who makes it 75. One is all
I hear there's a bunch of casinos in St. Louis. In fact, I know someone was just playing a series up there recently. Someone I know down here. Producer Kristen chimes in. She got her start playing in St. Louis. So there must be something there. Must be something to it in St. Louis.
So we show me one. He said we show me one.
Yeah, so
Really show you.
yeah, maybe one of these days I'll get the chance to check that out. Johnny suggesting Borgata up in Jersey. You know, if I ever got out there and if I'm traveling for poker, it's generally for tournaments since I can get all the cash games I want down here in Texas. You can go to really anywhere around here and get a good cash game. But you know, a big tournament, you got to get on the road sometimes. And
Straddle 25.
Hey, Rena's in the
Oh,
chat.
they
Great
said
to see you.
a couple months. You said a new room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Around 25. They already got the place.
Eights for Doug.
75, 940. I don't know if they're the lowest. One full, two makes it 300. Three full.
See the $300 three-bedroom slicer in the blinds with the 10-9 of clubs. Here we go, heads up to a flop. Jack 9 deuce is going to give slicer a pair.
200 and a full.
Takes it down there. No sweat.
Yeah. So this took like 15 minutes.
I'm gonna sorry to hear that your food wasn't good.
So like that. The thing is that I'm wearing both back then. So like I'm cruising.
They lost the order. That's a bad beat. How can they forget you?
One full. 75, three full.
Wow, that an enchilada better be worth it if it's going to take that long. Another flop with which nobody connects.
That's 50 and a full.
Slicer going to fire the turn and going to take it down.
I almost want to get up on their hands out like this. What time is it? What time is he supposed to be?
Well, here's another question for chat. Get us hungry. What are you going to have for dinner? What have you had for dinner if you've had dinner already? What are you going to have for dinner if you haven't had dinner yet?
Raise to 75.
Let's all get each other hungry.
Two calls. Full fold, heads up.
No. Girl out there.
Going to have another coin flip of sorts. And the fours. Man ahead of Queen Jack, but they're certainly not going to feel that way.
Two checkers.
Ken with the gut shot. Deuce of hearts, one of the better turns for a pair of fours. Slicer going to pounce here after being checked to twice. Slicer's fours are going to take it down. Rattler Venom guy says, yo. Yo, Rattler Venom guy. Thanks for joining us.
Round 25. Oh, you're adding 1,000? Doug added 1,000. Small, big.
I've gone to that park place.
Pizza and wings. Hey, there's a solid choice. So much pizza is going to get consumed around the country on Sunday. Rena had enchiladas. Well, I mean, you had to wait long enough for them. I can understand breaking up with that restaurant. You know, sometimes, even maybe it's a place you've been going a while. They go downhill and they don't do things the right way, and you take your money somewhere else. Ken's got a gut shot versus Cameron's ace high. Ken gonna peel here. A 10 would be good, a heart would be good, a pair would be good. He gets a heart.
9 checks.
Ken now with too many outs. Cameron does have a pair of eights. And the pair of eights will be sufficient to win the pot.
It's 250.
Kind of going to bluff at this. He goes 250, and it is going to work.
Yeah, guy fucking drill places.
Lamb leg steaks and potatoes and broccoli. That sounds like quite the meal.
His owner might. Probably not, though.
Are you assuming it's gender? Are you assuming it's their gender?
Are you leading the charge on that? Yeah. Picking up them.
Straddle 25.
I'll probably end up grabbing some Raising Cane's after the show. Those of you unfamiliar, it's a fast food chain that just sells chicken fingers.
I like that dog.
They're good chicken fingers.
It's not a dude, it's a lesbian. 25.
Maybe it's like a trend.
9 braces to 85 and full. You win.
And takes a small one here.
You think it's a
I
whole?
used to think it was
Petrol 100, I'm sure will get you gassed up with points. You just keep chatting, you'll get there, you'll be able to gamble.
School hard to say anything. Out of the blue, he said, no waste of life. So, okay, I won't.
Sweet Jack 10 suited
Yeah, I was 21. Today I'm
limps, and you get a three-way flop here in a limp spot.
I'd get to 71.
Slicer double dominating.
I remember that.
Everyone flops a pair of 10s.
77.
Ace, ace 10.
78 in March.
$25 bet gets called in both spots. 9 of spades on the turn. Preston now with the spade draw and some hope here as we check all the way through. 4 of clubs means that Slicer will have the best hand at showdown. His king is going to play here.
It's almost 97. It's probably like
She says 95. 2 bets, 150.
150 from Slicer.
Coming in. What's up, sir?
Cameron going to call, which is going to let Preston off the hook. Slicer going to win here.
Thank you very much. I guess that's my time coming in. Well, I thought about going for 100 hands, but we're just gonna push out. Good luck, everyone.
All right, Jeremy going to step out. Going to get a dealer change here. Jesse going to step in here. Hi there, Jedi Master Ted. And moving at a very brisk pace tonight. Next hands will be our 90th. While we got a moment, reminds you all that TCH Live is on at least 5 days a week. Mondays through Thursdays, we got cash games. Saturday, next time we'll be on, we got the final table from the big weekly tournament at TCH Dallas. Always a good watch. Mondays we get 2-5 from right here in Austin. I'll be back in the booth Monday night for that show. Then Thursdays we have the 5-10 here in Austin. Tuesdays the big 25-25-50 from Dallas, and then the 2-5-10 usually on Wednesdays from Dallas. Hit subscribe, turn those notifications on, find out each and every time we're on the air.
If I said anything except okay, he wouldn't move.
As we get a dealer change bomb pot here.
That was great. Now we got 2 Aussie little puppies.
Jack 8-7. 6. Could be fun here. Cameron's got aces and he's got spades. Lots of checking here. Another jack and a 9, so Ken and Preston both holding a jack. And I think Slicer is not sure what. Okay, there we go. Now the equities are right. Over to Preston, who's going to bet his trip jacks and his heart draw. Cameron calls. We go heads up. A king and an 8, both diamonds. So the spades do not arrive for Cameron, but the aces will be good on the bottom anyway as we go check, check. Chop it up. And at least 5 days a week as long as Dallas doesn't freeze. That's right, Ragnar. I say at least because, you know, sometimes we get some special shows on other days every once in a while. That's why you got to get those notifications on. Yeah, if Dallas freezes like it did last week, then, you know, maybe the room can't be open and we can't have a show. That's always disappointing. The freeze even extended down here to Austin. Like, it thawed out just in time to do the Thursday show last week. Like, the Monday, like, last week, I actually did from my house because I didn't want to drive here because we were starting to freeze over. Like, where I was, we already had freezing rain for a few hours. And getting home 4 hours later didn't sound any more fun either. So, like, Austin just squeaked in on both sides of that, actually. Hopefully no more ice storms this year. Both players bricking. Nobody's got a spade on this third spade turn. Cameron going to get there on the river with the pair of kings. Cameron does not get any value for that king. Yeah, yeah, the Sunday streams with those guys, like, that's not a thing anymore. Yeah, I think those guys are elsewhere these days. And best of luck to them. That said, you know, we may sometime in the next couple months see the return of Sunday streams, maybe. Stay tuned. Ace King for Ken, making it 85. Preston going to call it that suited connector. Heads up to the flop we go. Maybe we get another something for everyone situation here. Or maybe we get a whole lot of fours. This king going to take this one.
Probably gonna be like $100. Do you ever live up in the West? Have you ever been? We were just in Colorado, like when we were in Chicago, I had a Shiba Inu before you know, and she named it so sweet, got her like new boots. Yeah. And she walked like she didn't know how to walk. So I wonder if the prosthetic would be. Yeah. I've seen that. Pick their legs up all the time. Just getting her in.
I see what you did there, Rena. May the fours be with you.
Yeah. But, I mean, she was also 1.5. Yeah.
Ken with a suited ace gonna open up. Preston with a somewhat loose defense with the 6-3. Little something for everyone here. Preston's got a gut shot. Ken with top pair and backdoor hearts. The far superior holding. And Ken will take the pot there.
Half the time I forget that they even exist. They're definitely a more popular team. Right. Yeah, no, I was in Chicago up until October 28th. No. 2 kids, so a bigger clothes, cost of living.
Doug with the king jack.
Everything other.
Makes it 75. Preston with some queens here. Decides to go for all 455 of the marbles. Looks like Doug's going to give some action here. Doug looking to hit 3 outs. So the flop we go. 10-10-4, no help for Doug. Queens are going to hold. Preston's going to double up here. On the surface, it looks like Doug might have turned a gut shot, but the queen, in fact, would not have been good because that would have filled Preston up. Nice holds for the ladies there. See Ken and Slicer, the 4-figure winners to this point. But we're only halfway done here.
Did the Pro Bowl happen? Yeah, the flag. It's like a flag. Oh, yeah. Anyone watch it? How was it? It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, they did different events. They played like dodgeball. They played like water balloon toss. It's just like
These points of showdown statistics, one of the nice statistics that RF Poker gives us here.
Just like watching super athletes compete in like silly games.
20 to 30% of hands going to showdown for everybody. Lots of hands where it just checks down. Get to see how 2 players play the same hands here. Slicer with a slight free roll on this 2-spade flop, and there goes the free roll. Check, 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 check. And an ace. Check, check. King, king what? King 10. Oh, I have that.
there's been like a single hand that's taken more than like a minute to play. There hasn't really been any big hand.
Big blind's going to get chopped up there. Slicer going to raise and take it.
This is faster than when Jungle Man played Jungle Heads up with 2 dealers.
It probably was. It probably is.
Jacks for Cameron. And Cameron just going to take it with those jacks. The Judys, the J Wins, the JJ Watts, the Jimmy Johnsons.
Better angle. $10.
Get you into the pumpkin patch here on Rainy Street.
So he's gonna touch our cards.
Preston with the queens. Gonna get trappy with the limp, and Slicer's gonna take the bait, raising it up. He's gonna get limp jammed, and he is not gonna get action this time. Queens are gonna have to settle for Slicer's raise. Here we are at the 100th hand, just over 2 hours into the show.
That's like part of the contest too. You need to like fold or Jesse reacts.
Jesse, what's up? Yeah.
Shuffle harder, Jesse. We need some action runouts.
But it's like inside the line and he physically touches it.
Barrels live stream.
King, queen for Doug. Eights for Slicer, gonna 3-bet it. I think it's $300 there. Doug staring intently. Doug pulling his chips back. Doug putting out some more chips. Doug gonna go for the 4-bet here. Up to 775. Gonna play back at Slicer. Slicer gonna call. We're gonna go heads up to a flop. Over 1,500 in the middle. Ace 10-7 is gonna give Doug a gut shot and a nice little range advantage. Slicer's eights still the best at the moment. Doug going to continue. Small C-bet there, gets the job done. Did he just show? Look at these raise first in statistics. How often you are the opener and the raiser. We see Slicer mashing that raise button the most. Wonder if maybe Doug's caught on to that. As we go to a bomb pot here. 4 cards, 2 boards, here we go.
Fucking thing. I think there's one. Yeah, I don't know, Preston. I don't know if you want to go because every
10-6-3, King 9-5, King 9 for Slicer. Also a couple of gut shots for him. Cameron with aces again, and nut diamonds, and to 10. He's going to call. Doug with that much is going to go away. Queen, queen, 6 deuce, gonna go away as well. 8-6-5-4 going nowhere. Preston with some straight outs and some baby clubs now on this turn. Cameron, though, turning top set on the bottom. Preston with trip 6s on top. The 2 best hands. Cameron pots it up to 275. Preston with some pretty weak trips. He does not have a kicker. And some weak draws on the bottom. He does call. Slicer gets out of there. Heads up we go to the rivers. A 7 and an 8, which will chop this if it gets the showdown. Cameron with the set of aces. Preston with the trip sixes. Actually with the straight now. Preston with the straight to the 7. Either way, still the winner. Cameron gonna pot it and gonna get the snap call. Chop it up. Just what you all wanted, right? Another chop pot.
I'm the flop.
And we'll continue on here with some more TCH Live. I'm here in Austin, Texas. I'm William Waddy, the New York Knit, with you. Another couple hours on this Thursday evening.
Yeah, heaven forbid we go to this again. Pat pushes small box.
75 from Slicer. Gets Karen off the slightly better ace. I see Preston with a bunch of chips in his hands. Has Preston called it an evening? Or is he? Yeah, Preston has called it an evening, unfortunately. Thanks for playing here, though.
No bottom pots with 4.
We'll keep playing some poker here.
Cooler, maybe. Six.
Get a look at these V-pips. Easy to have a high V-pip with a short-handed table. Who defended here? Okay, Cameron defended. Cameron with a better king than Slicer. Slicer out-flapping him. Oh, but Cameron getting it back on the turn. Check, check, and Cameron's pair of 8s will be best if we get to showdown. Cameron gonna go for some value here. Looks like $100 worth. Slicer with a pair and a pot that checks all the way down. He's gonna fold. Time Traveler Poker hashtag record holder. What do you hold the record for? Came by to hit the like button and support the channel. Thanks a lot for coming by, hitting like, and giving us the support. Hope others will follow suit. Glad to have you all here this evening. Hey, we got the double straddle on. 5, 10, 25, 50. And that walk is going to get the job done for Doug. He's going to collect himself $40 additional.
Is that better than your other?
It's better than my last Get a little better each time. Why not?
I paused your guys' time, so.
Longest marathon poker session, 124 hours at Resorts World. I mean, that would be quite a long time. Like, I don't think I could go even, say, 16 hours without being a total zombie. You want to see me as a zombie? Catch me after I take a red eye. I mean, I can't sleep on planes, and I'm a total zombie the next day. I can't imagine trying to be functional and play poker for such a long period of time. The real question is, how much should you rack up in comps, if anything, for occupying a seat for that length of time? That's the real question. If you're going to play for 124 hours, you ought to at least get your money's worth.
I'm pretty sure he's aware of his image. Maybe I don't know if I would call him a kid.
All right.
Cameron raising up the 9-7 suited. And takes it down. Ken, the big winner. Cameron and Slicer up a little bit.
It depends on the game that players.
Skullbone wondering how stimulated you have to be to play that amount of poker.
I mean, but the thing is, there are some people who really earned it.
I don't think there's enough Dr. Pepper in the world to hold me together for that long. I mean, probably need something stronger. Not that I would suggest any sort of abusive stimulants. Slicer flapping the best hands here with a 7. Slicer's bet gonna get it done.
Barrels live stream.
Depends on the table. Like if I play that other place with like top 10 players in Austin, there's some pretty unique things, but it just feels the competition against the table and like I'm the best player and people are like asking to me. I mean like
Yeah, look at the aggression frequency. No surprise that Slicer the most aggressive.
it really depends on the table and like how you can maximize.
Drug free. That's what I like to hear. Gatorade, bananas, chicken noodle soup, and brain fuel. Is that some kind of energy drink? Slicer with the 10s. Like I know there's definitely been some people showing this stuff.
Button straddle? 50's available.
I'm dragging.
Well, that's how you spice it up.
Employment cards.
We know Doug had a big suited ace on the straddle. Unfortunately, nobody had a hands worth playing with. Or maybe it was lucky for them since Doug was probably going to increase the price. Ace queen for Ken. Ken seems to be the only one not putting on the straddle. He's going to make it 75. But screams, I have ace queen. I don't want action. As he will not get action. All I'm saying is if you would have put the straddle on, maybe Slicer opens because he does that a lot. And then you get to 3-bet his face off. And then he gets to win more money.
Well, he's playing ridiculous hand.
Yeah.
Smashing every turn card.
Yeah, I watched some of it that night and the rest of it in the morning the next day, and to hear everyone else's reaction at the table, and they're just like, yeah, of course you got it, like 2-jack and runs out like 2-2-2 for quads, like. He should have just like bluffed constantly because everyone would have believed him too.
I mean, the thing is, you never, like, he was betting, but you never know for value.
I don't think he bluffs.
I mean, he was betting, like, third pair.
Come on, Ken, put the squeeze in there.
Well, knowing he's gonna smash the turn.
True. Yeah. That's what like let's just blow the pot.
Yeah.
It's the only,
Ken just on
only
the call.
horses- the only
The
vendors-
ace-10 offsuit. Definitely a re-raise candidate, especially so short-handed. Cameron flopping middle set. 3 sixes. We'll put out the $50 bet. Slicer does have bottom pair. We'll continue. Cameron going to fill up on the turn. Cameron going to make it 225. Slicer also picking up a spade draw that will not be good if it gets there. Deuce of clubs. Slicer will avoid significant damage most likely. Over to Cameron. How big does he go now with this boat? Looks pretty big here. Looks like an overbet, which is going to get the snap folds. That was $1,200. He went about twice pot.
4-2 on
Gets the snap folds. Slicer had bottom pair. He was also heavily blocking the missed draws.
He has full house and Eric had pocket jacks. Eric called like a big check raise at the end too.
Yeah.
Like you just got there constantly.
Yeah, that was sick. Any hand out well was fine. So it's fun to see a lot. Like he was torching everyone.
So going to open up his suited ace. Cameron going to go duck hunting. No back-to-back for him, but Deuce is best at the moment. Check, check. Deuce is no longer the best. Doug has turned himself a pair of nines. Check, check. Queen puts forward. It was straight on the board. No more money going to go in the flop. Doug going to turn it over. Nice turn, sir.
It's not very good for you. It's not very good for you.
No, it's not.
Hey, you saw a flop at least.
Yeah.
A couple of them recently. 2 hands in a row.
Get these cards shuffled up. Get some more hands dealt out there. Nines for Ken. Hits at 85. Gets it through. Gonna reward Jesse for that. White chips worth $1. Not in play in a 5-10 game. Red chips are 5. Green 25. Black 100. Pink 500. We don't have any of those orange blacks on the table, but they're worth $1,000. Been a while since we've seen a plaque on the stream. Cameron raises with ace queen, gets the defense from Doug. Cameron flopping a queen. Doug flopping nothing at all. Another pot heading Cameron's way. 5, 10, 25. I think Doug is trying to set some sort of record for how high he can fold his cards. Seeing a lot of air on those folds. Queens for Ken. He makes it 85. Slicer with some threes. Gonna defend. 10-8-3. Slicer has outflopped Ken. Slicer with bottom set. Ken with the overpair. Ken goes for 175. Gonna feel good about this flop, especially holding a club for a backdoor. Slicer gonna bump it up, looking for some protection. Makes it 450. He really won't love to see a third club. He won't love to see really half the deck that straightens the board out. Ken's got the overpair. It's going to be hard to get away, though. So many draws. He will make the call. To the turn we go.
150. I'm like, what's so hard about it?
6 of spades. Just makes the board wetter. Ken going to check at Slicer's way. Certainly Slicer going to fire again. A little bit over pot here, $1,200. Ken gonna muck. Ken rightly determining that he's beat. Will limit the damage to just the flop bet and the raise.
Once a month on average.
Sometimes your best pots are the ones where you minimize the damage. I see Ken racking up some chips here.
So just 2 of us, not all of us.
We either have to do 5, 10 quarter to one straddle or 10 quarter. Is he leaving?
Yeah. I'm kind of want like 10-25, but no button straddle.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll play straddle.
I think Ken's calling it a night here.
I guess. Okay, but no button straddle? Yeah. Okay.
Confirmation that he's calling it a night. Players discussing what to do here. Okay, so they are going to continue. These 3 players will continue. And we're going to bump up the blinds. We're going to play 10-25 now. That way button doesn't go last every time. Doug's going to raise it to 75. As we're now playing 10-25.
He plays on Monday. He's good. I don't know. I think he likes to play like fewer limits.
Cameron defends with his ace. Doug going to smash this one. Trip 9s. Doug going to continue for the minimum, $25. And Cameron going to check raise. He's going to make it 125. Unfortunate timing. Doug going to call. Going to let Cameron continue bombing away. Oh no, Cameron turns an ace. The third heart does put up the obvious draw. But now Cameron thought he was bluffing. Now he's going for value, he thinks. Goes 125 again, same bet. Doug is going to call. Okay, keep betting. 10 of spades on the river. Will complete the obvious 8-7, so all the front door draws get there. Cameron checks. See if Doug wants to go for value here. I could see him deciding to just check it back. All the draws are there now. No, Doug's going to go for some value. $395. Cameron with the choice here. This was a fairly ugly run out for his actual hands. He check-raised flop, got called. Certainly Doug could have a lot of nines there. Cameron really thinking this one over. Feels like a card funeral at this point. As I say that, he puts a chip in his hands. Puts it back down. I think he folds. I think he folds. He folds. And rightfully so. Mo the Cat wondering if TCH chips are interchangeable between locations. As far as I know, they're not interchangeable. Austin chips in Austin, Dallas chips in Dallas, RGV chips in RGV, Spring chips in Spring. And they actually do have the name of the city on them. Do you want to say thanks to Slicer, Cameron, and Doug, keeping the game going, even three-handed, giving us all a nice show. We see Slicer's made it 75 with an ace. Doug defends with queen 10. 6-3 deuce, somewhat uninspiring. Check, check. And 8 on the turn. Check, check. 9 of clubs. We know nobody has backdoor clubs. Slicer's hand is best regardless of what his kicker is. And check, check. Slicer takes it down.
Some book that just like reviews hands and talks about like.
LB Coleman, good to see you in the chat. I heard mention of.
It's not like that great.
Top.
But it also called late
Give you one of those.
position. It's a little bit older of a book.
I mean, that's some pristine advice.
But it also helps validate why I do that, even though that's not really.
I'll give you
historical.
top hours in there.
At least I could say there's like merit to why I do that.
So if you're bluffing,
In case
No, I think everything's the same. No, I
people want to see those statistics.
695 or something.
my kicker didn't play. And I didn't think it makes it like, I couldn't imagine you having worse in betting. It'd be tough.
Cameron raises those deuces, gets the 3-bet from Doug with his suited ace. Slicer folds his. Cameron gonna call. Heads up we go. Queen 5-5 keeps the deuces out ahead. $150 from Doug. It's a safe flop in that Doug probably hasn't picked up a pair, but it's also dangerous in that you could get 3-paired. Seven on the turn. Doug gonna fire again. Gets the fold, and Doug gonna show.
You probably had like a pretty massive chug at and that.
favorite hand?
You know, Ragnar, sometimes the only way to win is not to play.
Yeah. You would like aces. Yeah. What's your favorite hand, Matt?
Jack 10. I was gonna say Jack 10 suited is a good like 8-7 suited.
Yeah. Ones that can bring pain to the nutty hands.
Yeah.
I think Jack 9 suited kind of. 2-3 suited. Yeah, you play ace 5 like it's aces.
Yeah.
I've cost myself money that way.
Cameron opens up the suited ace, takes it down.
I was like set. Yeah, that's true. I was super out of line with my Jack 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep showing it the most. Ace 10.
And Ragnar, only a slight needle there, only a slight one.
That's like fucking maniac shit.
I should have pulled the 3 because I had the best.
Pocket twos.
Yeah. Come here, you're gonna get a little bit of sarcasm out of me sometimes. Doug's got a pair. Slicer doesn't have a pair. So Doug's gonna win. Yeah, we all run cold sometimes.
Probably because they're only like 4K expensive.
As we get to hand 123.
Problem is like
Yeah. It was, open hit exactly an 8. Yeah, like if a 9 comes on the turn, now I got to call 1,000.
Slicer with queens. And gets the quick fold. Being so short-handed, I feel like you're going to have an easier time getting value with these hands, the limp re-raise route. As we look at the pre-flop raise numbers,
We do a bomb pot. $50? 50? That's fine, who cares? How's it cut off?
ooh, we've bumped up the stakes on the bomb pot as well. $50 bomb pot incoming.
I've in position before in a bomb pot. I had a very tight hand. I thought I could scoop or get him to fold.
Yeah.
And he paid calls.
5-4 deuce, couple of hearts. Ace 10-9, couple of diamonds. Cameron's got nut diamonds on the bottom, and he's got an open ender on the top. Potential trouble for Doug. He has queens with the second nut diamonds.
Isn't he not very good at that?
Doug and Slicer going heads up to the turns. An 8 and a 6. So we go check, check. Hearts come in that nobody has on the 9 and 4 rivers.
One pair?
This will chop at showdown. Doug with the queens. Or no, rather,
Sorry.
yeah, this will chop. No? Yes, okay. We got the boards right. It is a chop. I thought so.
Pot if I saw my 2 pair. I would probably bet.
Betting that?
So, there you have it.
He's running it.
Yeah, the 8s and the deuces. Then the queens for Doug.
I don't know if there's any.
I need to find a book.
Write a book.
It's a lot of checking on that river.
No. I don't think I've read any.
That one big one is the pot.
Yeah.
RF Poker wanted us to be very sure what the action was there.
It's all like stuff we're pretty familiar with, like the concept of not getting scooped and blockers and stuff like that.
Got the graphics caught up here. Slicer's going to raise and take it.
Someone can write a book
Ace
on,
9.
like stupid things like don't get fucking quartered, or when to bet small, when to keep people in. Like,
Typically, if I'm playing three-handed poker, I'm pretty happy about it because I'm at a final table in a tournament and there's only 3 players left. Short-handed cash, certainly less common, but still an interesting game.
it's only to get like greater.
It's just super niche. But I mean,
Like, I don't think focus the right thing. I think
Slicer has a gut shot to go with the best hand.
upswing or touchline poker should just like create a course and talk. I mean, there probably is a course where they like talk about simple.
Third club, nobody's got a club.
Have a coach talk for an hour about like this simple concept of that'd be worth listening to.
Slicer going to win that one.
about this though. I would think that the more that people get better at bomb pots, then people would just stop playing.
I think they're more like gambling. I feel like players that are loose
Thanks again to all of you hanging out with us this Thursday evening in the chat.
like them because
A little something different. Some three-handed 1025 from TCH Austin.
like I come here sometimes on Thursdays, like right after work.
So I'm going to raise and take it here.
Bomb pot tables, like 500 cap, $5 bomb pot. People are just like crazy buying in, like gambling. Like there's not good theoretical bomb pot play going on. Like it's just like a gambling thing. But what if 500 cap it was like 5K cap? Like, maybe people would get serious about it, like want to play correctly.
I've done studying other formats or other games. If I can't be told anymore, I'll either homeless or retire.
How do they play the same hand? Let's find out. Hearing chatter about capped bomb pots, they must be talking about some inferior establishment. No caps on the bomb pots here at TCH. I prefer maximum chaos, maximum blood, maximum action in my bomb pots.
I like the couch aspect.
And that's what you'll get here at TCH.
Whoever doesn't like the cap, those are probably the best bomb players.
And you quickly learn how to navigate a split pot game if you haven't already.
Expect whale A.
That's the one edge I think I had as these became popular. Like I play a bunch of mixed games. I'm used to split pots. Very much educated on the dangers of drawing to half a pot.
That other place, and it's like 1,000 cap, and it's 135 premium pot.
Okay, a little bit of bad news for you guys in the chat. We got about 15 minutes left. I'm being told that we are going to cut it short this evening, so we're going to finish a little bit after 9 o'clock Central Standard Time here. So about another 10 to 15 minutes here. Thanks for being with us. Be sure and join us on Saturday for the final table out of TCH Dallas. Cameron going to take this one.
Or like maybe it's just like mixed games. It's like bomb pot. Like you do things different every time you get 5 cards. You get 7 cards. You get 3 boards. You get like you have 6 cards on the board. You can just do like crazy ass shit. Mixed games, but bomb pot format maybe.
Now you're talking, Doug. Now you're speaking my language.
Good way to get like 15 hands in an hour.
bomb pots with weird mixes. So there's a deuce to 7 single draw game that goes here sometimes. And we'll do what we call 4, 5, 6, 7 bomb pot rotation. Speaking of 7, Doug's flopped the best hands with a 7. Cameron with a 5. Doug's going to continue with top pair. Cameron going to call with middle pair. Spicy turn. Cameron catching 2 pair. Doug picking up the king-high club draw. Cameron checking over with his new and improved 2 pair. Doug going to fire again for 145. See if Cameron decides to bump it up with his 2 pair. He decides to just call 420 in the middle. Doug looking for a club, a 7, or a king. Gets the 10 of clubs. King high flush for Doug.
95.
Doug going to bet it one more time. Goes for the tiny $95 bet. Just begging to get any kind of action. Presumably targeting any club. Cameron's like, really? I had 2 pair. Now I have to fold.
I can beat that.
And so, anyway, we do the 4, 5, 6, 7 rotation. So, 1 bomb pot will be 4 cards. It'll be the POL bomb pots, just like you see. And then the next bomb pot will be 5 cards, and it will be Big O, 2 boards, ultimate high-low. So, the best high across both cards, the best low across both boards. And then the 6 is a game called Oklahoma, where you get 6 cards. You make a Hold'em hand, you make an Omaha hand, and you chop the pot that way.
So it's kind of like Oklahoma.
And then the 7 is deuce to 7, but you go straight to the draw. And wild stuff happens. So Doug will be happy to know that there is such a thing as bomb pots with weird mix games.
You have to remember what hand they're in.
As we continue on, another 5 to 10 minutes or so worth of play this evening.
People are verbalizing the cards. It probably just you.
Ace Queen for Slicer, gonna go the limping route. Cameron gonna get a free look. Cameron not gonna get anything for his trouble. Slicer with the nut no pair and a gut shot. Check, check. And I see another king. And Slicer's bet will get the instant fold.
Obama? That would be something he thought and talks about. You see it in Lodge's fucking former card protector is like a mega Donald Trump thing.
Slicer with an ace here. An ace is like gold when you're playing 3-handed. Raises and takes it down.
Exactly how it happened. Like, people that did it, they weren't trying to do anything bad. They were just trying to give the kid a birthday certificate.
Slicer out front among our remaining players here.
Yeah, he thinks like it's not that big of a deal, but like.
Have a good night, Rena. Thanks for watching. See you on the next stream.
I mean, he's a nice guy. Yeah.
Cameron bumping it up and taking it.
People like they're your age. It's not easy to do.
He'll be saying crazy as shit.
Yeah. He also immediately racked him left. I think because he used that twice.
So I said be sure to join us on Saturday for Dallas Final Table, and then back here in Austin Monday, 2-5, No Limit Hold'em. I imagine a much fuller lineup than we have this evening, and I'll be back here in the booth with you all once again. Your last chance to hear me for a bit because I'll be going to Vegas after that.
Someone told me
Couple weeks.
right when you got there they lost
Maybe I come back with a gold ring.
the last 2
Maybe.
or 3 days.
It's a tall order, but I'm going to try. And we have Cameron putting in the 3-bet with his 9s. Another very strong holding when you're 3-handed. Doug's going to open a lot from his button. Suited gapper. And he is going to find that sufficient to see 3 more cards. 9 in the window. Something for everyone, though. Cameron with top set. Doug with an open ender. You wanted action, guys. We got a shot at it. Cameron going to continue here. Has the nuts, and somehow Doug's going to have one of the few hands that can continue here. Cameron going 240. So same bet. Doug calling. Doug looking for either a 10 or a 5. Instead gets the 8 of spades, which gives him second pair. Board getting somewhat wetter for Cameron's set. Cameron going to check it over now. A second certainly check call. It would not want to get raised from the button. The problem being out of position. Doug going to check it back. King of spades on the end, so the backdoor spades get there. Doug straight does not get there. See if Cameron decides to go for a bet here. He's cutting out some chips. He's going to polarize here. 750, pretty close to pot. Annoying spot for Doug. We do have draws that missed. The problem is, Doug's the guy who missed a lot of those draws, and he's actually blocking some of those bluffs. Cameron going to show that he actually just had it the entire time.
Glad like another didn't come.
First card on the flop is how many more hands on there.
As we get down the stretch, we get to these last few hands here. Slicer with a suited queen on the button. Worthy of a raise. Doug on its defense. King 9. And Doug with a gut shot here and the best hands. Doug's best hand gets even better. Now he has top pair. He calls Slicer's c-bet and gets rewarded. Slicer going to check back. I think Slicer is probably going to be done with this hand. Doug going to go for some value now. $245 is going to get no payment whatsoever.
All our fans. Abigail's gonna be pissed off.
All of our fans.
You're like a top 5 poker player in Austin. You don't want to like destroy us?
Good to see you smoking. You're here right in time for the end of the show, actually. Cutting this one just a bit short. We've got about 4 more hands or so.
4.
Make that 3 more hands,
3 bet, yeah.
I think.
4 bet. Locking it.
Now, our producer, Kristen, likes to keep me on my toes about exactly how many hands we have left. She says she double-checked. So you all see, like, I'm not looking to have any kind of spoilers myself. All of my reactions are authentic. $60 open from Doug. Slicer puts in the 3 bet and takes it down with those pocket 7s. He's going to watch the game and go to bed. What game?
Probably, but let's just play heads up.
A couple nights ago. And a couple of nights ago, we saw LeBron break the scoring record. They had a nice ceremony, and that's probably going to be the last we hear of the Lakers all year. I mean, they literally cannot expand the playoffs enough to get the Lakers in there. Slicer gets a defense from Doug, who has the queen 9. And Doug flopping way too many outs here. The open ender and the diamond draws. Slicer checking back his air ball. Jack is going to pair on the turn. Doug opting to just check here. This is a coin toss. And gets the call. The 10 pairs. I think we've gone check, check. Bet folds? Okay, this is actually a bet fold from Slicer. And that makes more sense. Slicer actually had the best hand anyway. I was going to say, Doug went way too fast. Like, I wouldn't have minded a turn bet because you would love to have an ace fold. The double paired river is going to be a tougher sell as far as getting an ace out of there, though. All those draws missed. I believe we're on the final hand now. Hand number 141. Cameron gonna fold, Doug gonna fold, and give Slicer the walk to end the evening. Sorry for the short show this evening. Hopefully we make it up to you with an action-packed final table Saturday in Dallas and an action-packed 2-5 from here in Austin on Monday. As we see these stats scroll by, this is the part where I sign off. Thanks to all of you for watching. Thank you to our players, Slicer, Cameron, Doug, for continuing on here. I'm William Waddy, the New York Knit, on behalf of all of our staff, our producers, Kristen and David. Wishing you a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe on the way.